All right. Getting around to just a few movies that I've seen, but just kind of been busy, so haven't had like all the time in the world to do these reviews, so gonna do them now. To start things off, I saw Forbidden Fruits, directed by Meredith Holloway, and it's kind of a cheesy, kind of funny, kind of cringe movie, but has an interesting tone, and I'd say the tone like generally worked with the film. I thought that there was some interesting framing and cinematography from time to time, but I have to say that there was maybe like a bit too many establishing shots to show off like the mall location that was used in the film, which with that being said, there's lots of product placement, so I'm wondering if that's the reason why there was a lot of establishing shots, maybe. I'm not really sure. To me, the characters weren't all that interesting to me. They're kind of just whatever characters. It seems like from looking at reviews and like interviews with people that liked this film, it seems like they attached to the characters more than I did, but they're not really like bad characters. I just thought that they were kind of cliche and not really that interesting to me. They were fine. The main performance from the main girl was pretty good. The final girl, if you want to call her that, I guess. I don't really know. That counts with the context of where her character goes. One big flaw with this movie is that there's some very inconsistent audio mixing, and there was a clear white noise that was being played in lots of scenes that was distracting to me. I also thought that the movie was just too long. I honestly just think that like maybe 10 or 15 minutes of this film could have been trimmed off, maybe even 20 minutes, and there wouldn't really be like much missing or anything that I like wouldn't have needed otherwise. This film starts to kind of get convoluted when we get to some of the plot elements towards the end, but I did like some of the elements of the ending with the practical effects and the characters that were chosen to be killed off. It's very bloody and over the top towards the end, and I really enjoyed that from a practical standpoint. I mean, it's always better than like CGI nonsense kills. And when talking about the kills, not to spoil anything, but I did like at the very least that this film wasn't full of like completely just unlikable assholes in the film. Like, I mean, not everyone in this film is like per se just like, how do I say it, like an amazing hero, but at the same time it's like not all of the characters are like the most unlikable people ever. And with lots of horror movies just kind of going for the easy route of, well, it would be too intense and we're too scared to create sympathetic characters to kill off to make you actually feel bad. We're just gonna create a bunch of unlikable characters so you feel good when they die. Like, I mean, I guess that works in some scenarios, but to me, horror is kind of a genre that's supposed to make you feel upset and scared. You know, horror. But I digress. That's just kind of my thoughts on it. But my point being is that I just appreciated that this film actually had the balls to make some decisions that it did near the end. And have, like, kind of an interesting ending. I actually kind of liked the ending of this film. So, I mean, yeah, kind of a mixed bag. I could see a vision in there, and some might enjoy this more or less than me. Probably lots of lovers of camp will probably really like this film. That's not not a good or bad thing. I mean, it's just kind of your taste in film, but you know. With that, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. 5 out of 10. Another film I saw was Hamlet, directed by Anil Karia, and stars Riz Ahmed as our lead. And this movie is, well, it's weird. It's not good, really. It's kind of bad, in my opinion. There were some baffling technical choices on display, but I will say the performances, especially from Riz Ahmed, were good. Riz Ahmed is really chewing the scenery, and it seems like he really put his all in the character. Now, for starters, I am not a Shakespeare fan. If you want my opinion from the 2 plays I was held against my will to read in high school, I fucking hated it. By the way, I fucking hated it. It was terrible. So fucking boring, bro. I mean, I guess from an artist's perspective, I'm supposed to be obligated to appreciate them for historical purposes, but I don't know. Considering every piece of art ever is derivative of one thing here and there, some more or less, I think we just have to admit to ourselves when one take on something actually makes an impact on society and art as a whole, but hey, that's just me. You know, I get it, but I don't get it. Now, when we're talking about the film, I just found the whole tragedy and build up to everything very unsatisfying to me, and I was really only keeping my eyes open due to the lead performance. The shots and camera angles are fine, I guess. Nothing special there. I don't know. Honestly, the biggest problem with this film to me was some really bad editing choices. The sound design was pretty good. I found the way shots and transitions were stitched together to be very sloppy and even incomprehensible at points. So yeah, I mean, good sound design can't save everything. That's only just part of editing. Also, I mean, I'm gonna say spoilers, but I mean, I don't. Can you spoil like a 1600s play? You had 400 years, but anyways, I found the way the information to be revealed at the end with the poisoned wine to either be hard to understand or I just missed something. Like, seriously, I couldn't tell until like a little bit after that was the plot device that was going to. I couldn't even tell until after a little bit that like that was supposed to be the plot device for the whole tragedy. And now, yeah, maybe that's me being ignorant of the play that it was based on, but at the same time, I feel like since it's an adaptation, I shouldn't have to already be familiar with that thing to enjoy it. But yeah. Anyway, this movie was not for me at all. It was very boring and not interesting. So with that, I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Alright, and the last film I saw was The Stranger. This is a French film directed by Francois Ozon, and this film is based off of a book of the same name. And surprise, surprise, I have no context or experience with the book. However, I really enjoyed this film. It is a film that is slow, and you kind of need to stick with it to reach the satisfying conclusion the film brings you to. And I thought that, like, that aspect of it was actually really well handled, and I thought the slow burn was really effective. This film was very well shot and had a great variety of camera angles, and even being in black and white, I still felt that there was character to the film, and that the black and white aspect of it just wasn't like some random choice. I was able to latch on to the main character as well as the tragedy and downfall that came through in the second half. I liked the central relationship with the main female character, and I felt that the transition to the more like crime elements of the story in the second half worked very well, and I was like engaged thoroughly throughout the film. With that said, though, that does make me worry about the pacing if I were to rewatch the film, considering I know where the film is going, but, you know, who's hard to tell now. And now I do say that since the film was a little bit slow in the first like 20 minutes, I'd say. It definitely picks up, but I do have to mention the pacing issues that were in the film, in my opinion, but the whole third act as a whole was very satisfying. And it really was a great setup to all of the tension that was being built in the film, and it was just a great payoff. Overall, this was an enjoyable film that was very well shot, and it was an interesting series of events to watch unfold. And all of that I was still able to enjoy without reading the book. So, I mean, yeah, it's a good example of an adaptation. I enjoyed the film, and I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. If you like what you see, then hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. There'll be plenty more reviews coming soon as I am attending the Independent Film Festival in Boston coming up soon in like a week. And no, less than a week now. Yeah, less than a week, a few days. But yeah, thanks for watching. Share my reviews with your friends if you like my reviews. I appreciate everyone that watches my reviews. And with that, I love you. I love everyone that watches my videos. Thank you. Subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.